This is a session I did yesterday. This is Lola, 14-month-old little mix. She looks like a little German Shepherd, but she's actually a lot of things. This dog is very fearful. If you have a dog like this, I think you should watch this session, listen to what I say, because there's going to be about 5 things in here, 4 to 5 things that I do to address the fear. The big one being desensitization and the importance of desensitization. And I'm going to talk to you about this desensitization throughout this video and how you can't rush it. So she has a couple kinds of fear, in my opinion. She has, it's pretty bad, actually. Not aggression, but fear. And she has it throughout the session. It gets a little better. It doesn't get much better. What kind of fear doesn't get much better in an hour session? I do sessions all the time. The dog is sometimes fixed at the end of the session. It happens all the time. This dog is not, because in my opinion, she's got probably the worst kind of fear, which I talked to the owner about, and that's genetic fear. So here she is. We'll get into that later. Here she is barking, right? Don't worry too much about the tail wagging. That doesn't mean a lot. But a lot of barking. Look at her stiffness. Her hair's up. In a second, I'm going to ask the owner to pet Prince. I'm a big proponent of this method. I do it with almost all my sessions when I'm dealing with fear and even aggression. We're letting Lola know that Prince is our friend, that Prince is not to be feared. We're also letting her know it's not her and the owner against Prince and I. So now it's me, the owner, Prince. She's on the outside looking in. If she wants to be involved with us or with the owner, she needs to get a little closer and meet this guy a little bit. The meetings have to be encouraged. Okay, so we're going to keep doing it. We're like, pet, look, and now she comes in. She's actually in kind of almost like a smell him mode. You saw it for about 2 seconds. That's an encouraging sign, right? She's not like, she's scared, but she's also interested. Okay, so we stop that. We go over here. Now, if this is like your dog, if Lola is like your dog, you're going to get probably 4 to 5 things out of this video that's going to help you. So I encourage you to watch this whole video. Okay, there's going to be a lot of talking. It was cut down from an hour, over an hour session to 22 minutes, but it's all, in my opinion, pretty good stuff. All right, so I put Prince on a leash, more desensitization. Can't do too much. You can't speed up desensitization. You have to do desensitization, and you can't speed it up. How is your dog going to get used to dogs? Look at all this barking. You can probably hear it too. A lot of barking. You can't speed up desensitization. It's a natural process that the animal has to go through. And eventually it will work. The problem with desensitization is it takes time. It's just it just happens. You can't really speed up desensitization. You can speed up other things, but your fearful dog has to get with other dogs. Safely, right? This is safe. This dog would not be safe at a dog park. It would be overwhelming, but this is safe, and you can't speed it up. Just got to be around dogs, all right? So that's your first lesson, you guys. If you have, not great with people either. Fearful of people, I should say. So now we're going to go down to what we call the pasture. It's just a different area. She can run around. I like to take dogs down there because there's a lot of dog smells. There's grass. It's hot here in the summer, so the grass doesn't look great. But there is grass. They run around. I still have Prince on the leash. You have seen me in videos in the past be like, okay, young, crazy German Shepherd, I'm letting Prince off, and you got to deal with it because you're like barking and running up to him and like being not good at all. Like you need to be told what's up. This dog doesn't need to be told what's up. She's scared. She's not coming up to Prince and barking. She's not being all obnoxious about it. She's keeping her distance. So we're not going to overwhelm her. Some of these dogs that you've seen in my videos, it's enough. It's enough. Yeah, Prince is going to run at you. Deal with it. You're the one that's being nutty, running up to a dog at his own place and maybe nipping him or being way more bold than you need to be. You need to be put in your place a little bit, for lack of a better term. That's not the case here. Right? She needs to just meet dogs slowly. She's going to kind of freak out right here. All Prince does is move quick. Watch. She cruises off and then barks. Which is, there's a little run up. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He showed a play ball at the beginning. He's showing nothing badness. And you guys might be like, oh yeah, but she doesn't know it's not bad. Well, maybe she doesn't. She's got to learn. So remember what I was talking about with genetic fear. Genetic fear is what I believe this dog has, and I believe she has it because we saw very little improvement in an hour. Okay? When you see very little improvement, you know it's deep in the brain, as I told him. It's deep in there. That fear is deep. Okay, the other kind of fear I believe this dog has, I asked him, where was she the first 10 weeks of life before you got her? He said, I don't know, right? Some people go, well, it was at a rescue, or it was with somebody, it got returned, and then I got her. He's like, I don't know. Most likely, this dog was on the streets. Oh, I flip prints so that she can, and I encourage him to come over, so that encourages her to come over. I flip prints because this is the non-scary side of the dog. And of course, she's better than she's ever been at the non-scary side. So there's the first quote-unquote meeting. It's not really meeting, but it's kind of meeting. So I believe we're going to bring another dog down. Same thing, Miko. I'm holding him. She's barking. Desensitization. We gotta see dogs. I bring the chillest dog in the world out. You've seen Miko in my other videos. He just cruises off. Now, Prince, I don't think is going to run up to her, and I'll call him away if he does, and sure enough, he doesn't, which is exactly what we want. We want this dog to be around dogs, but not have them run up to her. Okay, so back to the running around in the field, not bring another dog down. Her first 8 weeks of life, I believe she was probably, like I just said, running around in the field. Even dogs that grow up in on the streets, we're in California, there's some dogs that are on the streets in TJ and they get brought up here. They're at least around things. They're around cars. They're around other dogs. They're around people. There's sometimes dogs in a field. That's the worst sort of 8 weeks of life or 10 weeks of life or 6 months of life is just in a field somewhere, kind of out in the wilderness a little bit. So Miko runs up to her a little bit. Not too bad, just a little pursuit. She's barking less, right? Our desensitization is working a little bit. She's not overwhelmed. She's not being flooded. These dogs are minding their own business, and she's a part of them. She's with them. Okay, so I believe she was raised in a field somewhere where she did not get any stimulation early on. And I believe she has genetic fear. That is my diagnosis of fear that is this bad. It's not the worst I've ever seen by any means, but it's far from the best. Okay, why are we doing what we're doing? She needs to cool off. And look what happens. I say, okay, I want you to kind of force her in the water. She goes, oh my God, I don't want to go in the water. Then we put her in the water, and she goes, oh, that wasn't so bad. It's enough moving slow with every aspect of life, okay? You got to sometimes go, hey, you'll be fine. And then sure enough, she was fine. And I think she goes in on her own, actually, at one point. You don't need to move so slow, because there are dogs that are like, if I go in that water, I'm going to die. Then you help them put them in the water, and they go, oh, I didn't die. That wasn't so bad. And that's what kind of happened there. We are going to get her in the pool. He gives her love, which is good, right? I don't want him doing this when a bunch of dogs are running around. But this is fine to do kind of on his own to let her know that she's loved and give her some reinforcements and all that good stuff. So back to the field thing, because I think you guys are probably interested in, all my clients are always interested in, why is my dog the way it is? Well, we don't know for sure. It's not a fear period. I mean, it's kind of the last fear period, but that's a minor one. The big fear period is 9 months to a year. And so people bring me a 10-month-old dog and I go, good news is your dog's going to outgrow some of this fear. Part of this is real fear and part of this is a fear period. Good news is it's a period, has a beginning and it has an end. So it'll end. That's not the case with this dog, however. So I didn't have hope for him hey, your dog's going to outgrow this. No, I don't believe this dog is going to outgrow this without more desensitization, which we have talked about, and some other things, right? Some counter conditioning, some when she's barking, which you're going to see later. When she's barking, I'm going to tell him to give her a cue, quiet, walk into her, and it actually works. All right, now we're going to get her more in the pool in a second, okay? So here we go. Oh, did she go? No. So now we're going to get her in. Why are we going to get her in the pool? I want her to swim. Most of the feisty, fearful dogs that come out, I want them to swim, to not feel the bottom of the pool. And always see, she went in on her own. Does she love it? No. You don't have to love everything in life. You'll be fine. So here's how I would have done this with her. I do it with a ton of dogs, but I don't. She's scared of me. So he's going to take her. She comes most of the way in, which is what we want. And then the final little bit, I'm like, okay, bring her in. And she's swimming. And we're all cheering right now. You probably can't hear it, but we're all happy for her because she felt a stimulus or like basically swimming that she'd never felt. Dogs like this need to experience new things. This guy's life is walking. He does a good job. He walks her a bunch. He goes on hikes with her a bunch. He's doing most of the right things, especially those hikes. I've said walks are the best. Walks and hikes are the same category, but think about hikes. Like she's walking in urban environment. She's also walking around trails and seeing all the things you see on trails that you don't see on streets. She needs both of that. So he's got to keep going with that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is just more pool time, but I think I bring dogs. So I bring Tucker down to another dog. There's a couple other dogs up top. Here's Tucker. We just need more dogs. More dogs. Look at her. She's getting better. She would have probably been barking at Tucker if this was 40 minutes before this, right? She barked at Prince. She barked at Miko. She barked at Gilly a little bit. Just more dogs. And every dog I have held for the first little bit. She cannot be overwhelmed. If you have a dog like this, don't go to a dog park with it. You're going to take not even one step forward, one step back. You're not even taking a step forward. You're just taking 2 steps back. Look at that. That's not a great look, right? We knew that bark was coming. But it's okay. It's all right. She can bark it out. We've let her bark to this point. Now, why have I let her bark so much? We're not really stopping it, nor do we want to. She has to express herself. People and dogs, when they're in a certain state of mind, they have to express themselves. We're not going to totally stop it, but in about a minute, I'm going to go to the regular audio, and you're going to hear me explain how to stop, because at some point, we're kind of done with it. All right, you barked at Tucker. He's a super nice dog. He's even small. I get barking at Prince. First dog you met, big dog, looking at you intently. I get it. Gilly or Miko, second dog you meet, I get it. We're now at the 4th dog. You're just like, I feel like barking. Now we're like a little bit over it. Okay? Now it's time to put a cue, quiet, and then mark and punish. Oh, Joel, you shouldn't use the word punish. Doesn't matter. That's the technical word. It's not mean. It's the true word to use. Someone in the comments like, you should say mark and correct. Yeah, that's fine. Mark and correct, mark and punish, whatever you want to say. All right, here, we're going to go to the regular audio now, and you're going to hear what I have to say.
It could be quiet, it could be no, it could be anything, but we need to start to tell her, no, it's anthropomorphic, but like, we have not done anything to her. Like, no dog has really rushed up to her. Like, they're all nice dogs. It's somewhere else. Like, it's enough. I'm kind of at the, knock it off. Like, you're fine. Like, if you ever have kids, Dozer, if you ever have kids, because they get older, it's like, dude, it's enough. Knock it off. That's kind of where we're at with her, I would say. So, let's say on the next bark, I want you to do like say, quiet, and do a little clap, and then kind of walk into her, like not a happy walk, and then the minute she stops and goes, oh, I want you to lay off of her. Okay, so give this clap is like, oh, I was barking, what's up? And then the quiet is the cue, and the walk in is the punishment. Then the walk away is the removing of the punishment, which is called negative reinforcement. Good, perfect, now you're done. Look at me, you take your pressure away. She stopped, she even like went away. Okay. You said, that was perfect. Okay. That was perfect. We gotta start to bring a little attention to it and say, it's enough. Yeah. That's what feels right to me at this moment, okay? You can't do that on walks, it's different. Yeah. You have the leash, so the leash is the tool. You can't do this, but off leash from this going forward, family dogs, you come out here, whatever, that's gonna be the new thing. You're gonna let her bark for a minute, and then we're going to be done with the barking because you're fine. You're actually fine.
Yeah.
You actually are fine. Okay, let's now, I don't think we're going to get play today, right? I don't know. She doesn't look to want to play with anybody.
Okay, now we're on leash. We bring out a dog. Now, what you're not going to see, the camera person doesn't get what she's doing, okay? But what we're going to do is we're trying to do some passing. We're trying to do some on-leash stuff. She is going to rear up. What she does is she barks and she pulls on the leash really, really bad. And nobody, obviously, so she's rearing up right now. You can't see it. She's rearing up. And I'm just finally like, we're done with this. I was like, what do you want? I wanted to know at this point what she wanted. I just took the leash from the owner and I just said, let's go. Go do what you want to do. I'm done holding you back all the time. And what she does that's weird. And I still want to see what she wants because she keeps looking at Allison and she looks at the other dog, but she keeps looking right there. She keeps looking at Allison and it was weird to me. I still don't totally understand why, because it's actually a mixture of like, I want to meet her, so I give her a correction. You guys see me do it a bunch of times. And that first correction worked. Doesn't stop the barking, but I am done with a lot of this barking. Just because a dog is fearful does not mean you let it go off. Some people would be like, you should have corrected this way earlier. Some people would be like, the poor dog, you should have just, it's scared. Why would you correct it? This is middle of the road. That's what I am. I'm a middle of the road trainer. Okay? I am not either of those things. I am not hardcore, you can never do anything wrong, and I am not let you do a bunch of stuff wrong because you poor baby, you're scared. That's not life. It's not how you raise kids. It's not how you raise dogs. I'm letting her get some stuff out, and then I'm saying, knock it off. Right there, you saw it. I'm saying, knock it off. This person and this dog have done nothing to you. It is time to live in this real world and to start living by the rules in this world, in this society. And it's a weird reaction to Allison. It's a weird reaction to the dog. The other dog's barking too. She wants to smell her, and she needs people stuff. She needs like meeting more people. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. You want to meet? You want to smell her? I'm 99% sure she's not going to nip. She's definitely not going to bite a person hard. These are not the type of dog that bite people hard. And she's not, I'm 99% she's not going to nip either. But she needs to meet more people, so let's do it. Okay, let's do this. This is more desensitization right now. Okay, you want to be near a person? Here's a person. Right? It's kind of a weird response. It's not like super happy. Look at these, both dogs going crazy. It's not super happy to meet Allison. She was barking at her before, but we got to get this dog around dogs and people. Got to happen. Got to happen. Look at she's pulling back to dad. Pulling back to dad. So the response was strange. It really was, actually. And fear is one of those things. It's a weird thing, especially when you got genetic fear and you got early life stuff, wasn't exposed to enough. That's why if you're looking for a dog, rescue or breeder or whatever it is, people call me all the time and they want to know how to pick a dog. The one thing I'm adamant about, if you want like to have a dog that doesn't come with problems, is that it's raised early life in a home. And they go, yes, but they have a beautiful facility in the backyard at this breeder's place. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't work like that. There's something about in the home. There's something about hearing phone rings and hearing people stomp around the house, or at least their feet hitting the ground, and hearing the things in a home that's super duper duper important. And the opposite of that would be a field, right? Which is what I think this dog was raised early on in. More barking and a correction. We're done with it. Oh, but poor dog is scared. The poor dog's fine. She's all right. We have gone very slow with this dog. This guy needs answers. This dog needs to live in this world. We were not mean to this dog. We got around good dogs. No dogs rushed up to her. And then we were like, Okay, we've let you get it out. It's time to knock it off. He did that in the pool. You didn't see it. You just heard me talking. But he did it in the pool. Okay, it's enough. I did it on leash. Okay, it's enough. We're an hour into the session at this point. It's enough. Kids, dogs, they need to get some stuff out. They need to get their feelings out. And then we need to tell them, knock it off. We didn't do it with an e-collar. We didn't do it with a prong collar. We did it down. I did it down into the side correction. Okay? Which just kind of knocks them off balance. Their power is not in the side. You don't want to give them a correction like on their throat backwards. It can hurt them, number one. Number two, it doesn't work. Down into the side. I release her. I do my kind of patented release. Go rush the dog. I don't care. She didn't though. So now we're doing some passing. She's just like, she's looking at Allison. It's the person. She's just kind of like tripped out. It's been a lot. It's an hour. This is why I don't do 2-hour sessions. This dog can't handle a 2-hour session. It's too much. Low correction to the side. I just stop. Barely even give her a correction. This dog just needs exposure. A lot of exposure. A lot of walks. A lot of hikes. He's doing most of this stuff. He should be coming out once a month. This dog needs this once a month. Preferably once every 2 weeks. But once a month is good too. Now at this point I think she wants to meet Allison. Anyway, that's the video. If you have a fearful dog, we got to about 4 things that I think would help you. Desensitization, when to tell them to knock it off. Exposing them to different surfaces, different stimuli. That was the pool. When to correct, all that good stuff. Hey, if you like this video,